Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom. We are back on this beautiful April Fool's Day, breaking,
Mm-hmm.
breaking down today's 5 game slate. And it's not even all 5 games. So, per usual on the weekend teams now, we got an early slate, a main slate, and then a late slate. So, broken up a little different on the two sites. FanDuel has Atlanta, Chicago, LA, and LA in the early slate, a 12:30 and a 2 p.m. East or West Coast time game, and then
Yes.
a 3 game main. And then on DraftKings you have the 2 game early, a 4 game main, which includes the
Atlanta, Chicago,
Atlanta
5
Chicago.
o'clock Eastern.
Yep. And then you have a 3 game and a 2 game.
2 game early, 3 game late, and a 4 game main. I believe you might even have a 2 game later
That's what
as
I was gonna say.
well.
I think there's a 2 game later. Really?
They
DraftKings
like
made
to
their
do that.
DraftKings made their logo a giraffe. Why?
They did what now?
They called it DraftKings. If you go to the DraftKings app and you open it, it's DraftKings.
I haven't been on the DraftKings app today, but I will. I guess that's part of April Fools, right?
Speaking of that, did you see the that April the giraffe still hasn't had her kid?
I have
That's
no
been
idea what the hell you're talking about, bro.
You haven't seen that thing all over Facebook, dude? There's like 4,000 people a day
No.
that sit there and just watch for the giraffe to have its kid. It's ridiculous.
Panda Watch.
It's a Facebook live feed, and it's all they do is they watch and wait for a giraffe to have a baby. Yo, yo, yo!
Go
What is up,
figure.
everybody? Seeing some people start to file in
Hey,
here.
man. So yeah, April Fool's Day. You got a 5 game or a 4 game main on both sides, right?
No, 3 game. Three
Or
game
no?
on FanDuel.
3 game on FanDuel. So 4 game on DraftKings, meaning that the first game starts 5 hours before the last game. We'll just have to start this slate by saying, play light, don't chance it. Like, it's
Surprising.
really, especially if you're only playing a few lineups, man.
It's really surprising that we
If you
say to play,
if you're
play
if
light.
you're in a groove, no, I mean I understand if you're in a groove and you got something going, like it makes sense to continue because I don't know, it would, if you're making money and you are on these players right now, and that's another thing we don't talk about enough. Like when you're in a groove, it's because you really are getting what's going on with each of these players, hot streaks and cold streaks, whereas maybe somebody else isn't. So ride it out.
But
But yeah, it's gonna be tough.
baseball starts tomorrow.
That's right, it does. So maybe you want to spend some extra time looking that up.
So I'm excited. I'm excited. We'll be back tonight to do a baseball show. Time is still to be determined. Format will be a little different, but content, as always, is the same. Let's see. I stopped playing fantasy for a few months and just came back today. Is George gone? You really have been gone a while. uh,
His tan wore off.
Ariston said you should put the Sports Swirl logo up today.
We
as
could, I guess. Why not?
as a April Fool's joke. George is gone, by the way. So George and I have disbanded. Now Fantasy Phenom, no longer Sports Swirl. Leroy is multitasking. He's watching Fantasy Phenom and Little League Baseball, and Ariston is watching on his phone while his nephew's in the batting cage. So
So now that we know what's going on in the community.
we got
Here's what's going on
we got
at the Phenom.
some loyal viewers. Make sure to always tune in.
That's right. No matter what's going on.
We appreciate you guys. We do. How'd you do yesterday, Mike?
I did not do well, but luckily I played lightly. So
Seems to be the trend, man. I'm playing 5%
I cashed
of my
in
buy-in
one.
right now.
I cashed in one contest, but again, I was playing some bigger tournaments. I really wasn't. Playing my usual type of construction. If you watch my lock show, I go over my line of construction every day and what I do. Yesterday was one of those days where I decided to go two completely different lineups. And when you do that, you generally are hoping to get in the top 5% of your tournament, or else you're just going to break even because one will cash, one won't cash, or they both won't cash, right?
Yep.
You're not trying to just get to the cash line if you have two completely different lineups.
You're banking
You're
for
hoping
one
that
doing
one of
well.
those really good. Yeah, so that didn't happen for me yesterday. I had one lineup with Boogie and Westbrook, and I had one lineup with LeBron and who was my Jokic.
Dude, what about Justin
So
Anderson?
yeah, what in the hell, man? They fired him up early, man. Kyrie pushed him into the bench. You saw that, and then
Yep. I don't know, man.
God,
I can't. I guess I can't guess when a guy's gonna go off anymore. Paul George did exactly as I expected. He got right around 40 points, didn't exceed it, didn't hit his ceiling. So I'm glad. I played him.
pretty sure Aaron
Dude,
Gordon was the play of the night.
60 points, man. I was on Aaron Gordon all day, and I took him
Mm-hmm.
out, and I wasn't even gonna risk it. I was like, you know what? I don't know if like a shoulder injury that worries me, like shooting everything like that, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, and also if you were watching the lock show, I turned a lot of people on to Troy Daniels because Aaron Harrison was listed as questionable or doubtful. Yeah, and I was thinking we'd be closer to doubtful, and because they were already short, I was like, this guy's gonna have to play. I didn't think he was gonna do that well, but
Oh, and then
yeah,
Kuzminskis, man, I forgot about. I didn't play him, dude. 50% in my double ups.
yeah, they started Vujicic.
He didn't play a minute. He didn't play a minute today
Yeah,
or yesterday.
I know they started Vujicic. He played 37 minutes.
So,
Sasha.
all right,
All right, let's
well,
roll in it, bro.
let's break down the two early games.
Alrighty.
Um, with two games, let's just break it down by pricing. Let's not even go by position. No point. Um,
Yeah, I guess we could just talk real quick about injury news. Brandon Ingram is listed as probable for. He was out, I think, 2 games, right?
3
He's
or 4
listed as
games now.
probable
Yeah,
to.
yeah, he's back today.
Um, Tabo Cephalosha, Paul Millsap again. Both are still out. Tabo with the groin strain and Millsap with the knee synovitis.
Bazemore will play.
Bazemore, yeah, will most likely play and still remain on a minutes restriction. Dunleavy is also listed as probable, so that could muddy things up a little bit.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
for Prince. Okay, so you
Not
got.
going to go by position.
Nah, we'll just do it
We're just going to go by price.
by price. Yeah, for the 2 games.
Gotcha.
So you got 4 guys above 8K on FanDuel and on DraftKings, 8K or above on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
So on FanDuel, you got Jimmy Butler at 9.9 and 9.6. Obviously, extremely priced up again for the short slate. You got Chris.
That's actually a price drop for Butler.
Yeah, but I'm talking relative to where he, in my opinion, should be. I think he's priced up. Like, I feel like he would be more in like the 9.2 range if it was a full slate.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that, like I said, he was on a full slate. He was 10K last time, and that was just because, I mean, if you look at what he's done, he's got over his last 5 games, he's got a 50-point average. So he's been paying off that price tag on a pretty regular basis.
Harrison said I was at work and missed Mike's lock show.
Yeah, he's always the first one in there too.
Dude, he loves it. Dude, that lock show is really taking off, man. There's guys that they look forward to that every day. So good job, Mike.
I know. I'm bummed that we're gonna continue this lock show because I'm gonna miss you guys. We're gonna have to continue it through baseball season, even though it's not gonna be as relevant.
And he says I've been going serious gut with a little help from Slack. So gives a nice
Hell yeah.
shout out to Slack. Blake Griffin at 89, 85 on DraftKings, Chris Paul at 94 and 88, and then DeAndre Jordan 82, up all the way up to 82 on FanDuel. And then you got Dwight Howard at 76. So DeAndre Jordan's, to me, I feel like he's a must play. When you compare those 2 centers, I think those are the 2 centers you look at today. On DraftKings, I don't see any reason why you play Howard. Jordan's cheaper and in a better matchup. On FanDuel, you have obviously a little decision to make. And then out of Butler, Paul, and Blake, give me 2 studs. 2 that you would play or one, or give me actually out of those four. Out of those four, give me the two guys that you look to play the most. Five
Paul
guys.
and Griffin. I think.
Five guys. I'm
I think.
sorry.
I think. I immediately am going to try and get Paul, Blake, and DeAndre out of this 2-game slate. I'm going to try and build my lineup that way immediately, just because it's this is a big three. I don't think you can really go wrong on this 2-game slate going there. I mean,
Yeah.
the Clippers have the best spot on this 2-game slate.
In terms of so Millsap's out obviously. Schroeder, Rondo, Russell, all similarly priced, and then you can even throw
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Clarkson in there, I guess. Who do you pick as your point guards?
I think if I'm going that 3-man stack, I'm going to try and get Russell, but it's going to be tough as that one-off.
What
Like
about
if you want
Clarkson?
to run up, yeah, you might have to drop down to Clarkson. So if I'm going to go a big stack, I'm going to go a big stack with the Clippers guys against the Lakers, which I probably will. I'll probably at least try to. I'll probably at least try to get 2 starters and a bench player, and then a one-off with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this Atlanta-Chicago game, so this game is pretty important as far as real life. The fact that it's in Chicago.
Oh,
In
sorry.
Chicago,
Talking about that game.
yeah. The fact that it's in Chicago,
Playoff
and
implications,
Rondo's been
yeah.
playing big minutes lately, so
I love Rondo.
I think you can go. I think you can go. I think Rondo's in a good spot. Like if I was going to target anybody in that game at all, I think Rondo would be one of the top guys.
I love Rondo's spot today, personally. That's, I think, where I'm going at point guard. What is up, Jason? What's up, Mike and Leandro?
I think you have to look at Chris Paul though too, don't you? I mean,
Absolutely. No.
the Lakers
On
just
FanDuel, I
give
get
it
two.
up. The point guards.
On FanDuel, I get two,
Chris
right?
Paul has been destroying. Yeah.
So that's where I
But
look, is Chris Paul and Rondo. I definitely agree. I haven't built a lineup yet, so I don't know. I find myself fading Butler, which is weird because I do agree with you. I just want to get that stack in there. Butler, Griffin, and Jordan. I think it's going to be super chalky. So with that, do you think Butler is a good contrarian play, or am I misthinking the ownership? Do you think he's actually going to be pretty? Do you think he'll still be high owned?
so if you go, I think you're gonna have to get rid of Blake or DeAndre if you want to go Butler, right? So, for example, if you have Chris Paul, Blake, and DeAndre on DraftKings, that leaves you with $5K per player. That's not bad at all, right? It's easily doable. I mean, if you add Butler in that mix, you're down to like 4 value guys, but you're paying up. It's purely stars and scrubs at that point. So I would have to get rid of Blake or DeAndre. I probably would lean Blake, and then I would probably try and get Rondo. Yeah, there's definitely many ways you can go, but on this 2-game slate, like any 2-game slate, I don't know. I mean, differentiating yourself, like, is there anybody on this 2-game slate you think could be sneaky? Like, I'm struggling to find sneaky plays.
I don't think so. Mirotic, I think, is a good play. Ilyasova, Ingram could be a sneaky play. I don't think people will be on him because of the injury, so he could be somewhat sneaky. Valentine could be sneaky going up against Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, and then the other way around, I think Tim Hardaway Jr. could be sneaky because he's overpriced,
Yeah,
and you got players coming back, but I think he'll still play big minutes against Chicago.
You know who else you look at, Mike, is Raymond Felton.
Yeah, I played Raymond Felton the other day.
So he's getting minutes with
Thinking,
Rivers out.
thinking that
Again.
game was going to blow out, and it didn't blow out, and he only played 16 minutes. So I think you can kind of go there again, like this Lakers game. Maybe this one game blows out, and he gets some extra run, and Chris Paul sits.
Definitely something to look at.
But 3,100 is super cheap.
The other one that you look at is Michael Carter Williams.
Yeah, he just become the backup point guard, especially with no Cameron Payne. He's getting some minutes, but I don't think I'm going to go there. I don't think I'm going to
Yep. You know
throw
what?
that pick.
Good point. CJ just brought this up. Zubac. Zubac is done, man. Tariq Black.
Yep, Zubac is done. I mean, I think Tariq Black was. I don't think he's going to be a well-kept secret either.
No, but 3,700 still super cheap. Everyone I think is going to be on Actually, I don't think people might actually do a Butler Paul Griffin and then black stack. You could do that. But another one to look at that I think is I'm gonna look at Larry Nance to pick up minutes now.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're looking at this game blowing out, right? So then you got to look at Tyler Ennis, you got to look at Tariq Black, you got to look at Larry Nance. That's the contrarian way to play today, is to bet on this game blowing out, fade. I don't even think you can fade the Clippers in 3 quarters, though. It's like,
No, they still can put up the points.
a 2-game slate. Who else are you going to find that's like can step in and give you similar value in this spot?
And the other guy, I think there is some value here, man. Another one that someone
There is.
mentioned is David Nwaba. He's getting the minutes. He's hit value a couple times in the last couple games.
Nwaba's tough to play. Yeah, I mean,
He is. I'm just throwing out value there right now. I'm not advocating for Nwaba. I'm just throwing out some value.
mm-hmm.
He's definitely potential value right there. So I mean, there's places to go. There is. I mean, and if the Clippers give it up to any, well, actually, I mean, D'Angelo Russell shooting guard. Yeah, I mean, there's like I said, it's all gonna be kind of which value you like the best.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to this mid-range, though. I think the value is going to be chalk, and then I think the studs are going to be chalk.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of stars and scrubs. So if you want to go mid-range, I think there's some good plays like Mirotic. I think you can go Ilyasova even today. I don't necessarily hate that.
I can get behind Ilyasova. I like him and Mirotic actually against each other. I can do that.
You know, people will be off 20 in Prince from last game. I probably will as well, but your thoughts on Robin Lopez going up against Dwight Howard? Probably stay away, right?
I'm gonna stay away from that. Yep. No, thank you.
All right, yeah, I think we've talked this one to death. Jamal Crawford, you're getting there. JJ Redick, same story.
Let's look at we'll look at the main slate on FanDuel. We'll break it down that way. So these other 3 games, that way we just encompass the all 5 games, and then you can kind of piece together how you'll go. So you got Orlando, Brooklyn, 2 teams that are fighting for nothing, but Brooklyn, I would say, is probably actually still trying to win. Although Orlando gave the Celtics a hell of a game yesterday.
Yeah, Orlando's been playing well. Same with OKC. That was a good game.
You got... Hold on. Why is this thing acting up? Get rid of that.
Aaron Gordon, man.
Dude,
that came out of nowhere. I think you can look at him again today. I 5,500. The price is the same. Obviously, back to back. So
absolutely, he's returning in.
Again, it's very strange. Like the game before this, Evan Fournier had 24 shots, which is uncharacteristic for him, and then this game, Aaron Gordon got 24 shots, which is even more uncharacteristic for him. So this guy averages like let's see. Yeah, right. You'd think. All right. I would venture to say this guy averages around 10 shots per game on the season.
So, all right, we'll do this one by position. We'll make it a little easier, more organized. Your point guards to choose from: Dame, Rubio, Peyton, Ulis, Lynn. You can throw in Collison, I guess, but I think Lawson's back today. Chris Dunn, still 4,300. You're kind of guessing on minutes there. Then you got some Nets value in Dinwiddie, Whitehead, and then even Tyus Jones all the way at the bottom if you think the game blows out, which I don't think it does.
And then on DraftKings, you got to throw Rondo in there as well.
That's right, because you have the main. Okay, so where do you go? I think Dame. I think Dame's a lock to me. I don't think Portland blows out Phoenix. I really don't. And Dame is on another level.
Yeah, Dame's the guy I want to pay up for on this slate, for sure. It's him or Karl Anthony Towns, probably the 2 highest priced guys. Butler's in there as well. You can make a case for all 3, but it's hard to go against Damian Lillard, ball in his hands against Phoenix at home, fighting, playing well. I agree.
And then I like the flip, man. I really like this Portland-Phoenix game. That's where I'm basing most of my plays from. With a
It's pretty
few
smart.
pivots off Sac and Minnesota. I'm really not even actually surprisingly. I'm really not looking too big into this Orlando Brooklyn game minus 1 or 2 plays. So Dame and Tyler Ulis are my point guards right now, and I think both great matchups. Right. Portland gives it up to point guards too, man. I was looking at one of the things. So there's the obviously the strategy of perfect lineups and whatnot. And Maurice was talking about this as well. And when you look at it, Portland gives it up quite a few times to point guards. Their DVP is favorable for Ulis, so and you got minutes, right?
Yeah, that's another biggest thing. Dame and Ulis, you can make the case you're going to play the most minutes out of any of these point guards today. Other guys that'll probably play 30. You'll probably see 30 from Elf today against Brooklyn. You'll probably see 30 from Rondo against Atlanta. I think both of those guys are in really good spots as well. And those are probably the primary pivots off of the guys that you just mentioned. Rubio, I don't know. What do you think about Rubio? He's coming off best game of his career, going up against Sacramento, which is just a terrible team. But
do you think Rubio? So I guess your question is, if you look at 6x value, who are you more confident in? Dame getting 54 points or Rubio getting 48?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty confident in both. I think they're both pretty solid plays, man.
Can you make the reason to stack Lillard and Rubio? And I feel if you do
You'd
that,
have to fade.
yeah, you're gonna have to fade someone.
You'd end up with a lot of people in that Brooklyn Orlando game. So, I don't know. I like Elf too today, though.
Elf is in a
I
great
like
matchup,
his potential
yeah.
upside.
I agree with that. I like Elf as well. I think Elf actually goes probably lower owned than. Well, I mean, he's always a GPP play, I guess.
I just like this game for Elf because, man, more with the increased possessions in Brooklyn and a lot of, they take a lot of shots, a lot of long rebounds for the guards. A
Yeah.
lot of open floor for passing the ball, getting assists. It's just a prime game for the Elf's peripherals today. But his price at 74, makes you want to have to choose between Rondo, Ulis, Rubio, and the Elf. And that's a tough decision. I think if I had to rank them, I would go. I'd probably put Ulis last, honestly. Just going up against Dame. I know the big minutes, the good matchup, but just like the player versus player.
I can see that. And let me tell you my reason that I'm not going Elf and I'm going Ulis, so he's cheaper. And I'm doing a backcourt stack in this game. I'm going Booker, Ulis, and Dame McCollum.
Yeah, I mean, and you're getting at the fact that there's going to be a lot of possessions in this game as well, and a lot of up and down the floor.
Yep.
So it's for the same reasoning as why I like Elf.
But I think you can get a cheaper stack. Honestly, you can go Elf and Gordon or Elf and Ross.
Oh yeah,
you can get cheaper stacks. I don't see how you fade. Personally, I can't fade Devin Booker right now. I don't care that his price is 8K because Devin Booker gets so much run.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only guy shooting the ball, and that's kind of why takes me off Ulis even more a little bit. I mean, yeah, he plays 40 minutes, but
he's still getting
over under how many shots does he make? Probably 6 to 10 shots, made shots.
He's still putting up 40 points though.
Yeah, no, he's putting up the points. I agree. Just potential upside.
Leroy
That's why I like Elf over Ulis for the upside in the same type of game.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. A couple questions: Kilpatrick or Levert? You know what? I lean Kilpatrick today. And then, who's going to guard Rubio? Probably Rondo. I'm sorry, Rondo. I'm still thinking Rondo's on the Kings. Collison.
No, yeah, Rubio's got a smash matchup. So it's Chris Dunn. I think both those guys are in play against Sacramento. I think you can make the case to go 3 point guards on DraftKings today, or on both sites. Or you can't on both sites, but on DraftKings you make the case to go 3 point guards today. I don't know that there's much value here. Again, you look at the Brooklyn guys, but I just haven't done that in a long time. And I still think Collison is too cheap. I know
Yeah,
he didn't really do much yesterday, but
it's
he
back to
didn't kill
back.
your lineups yesterday.
It's back to back.
Um,
You know who else you got to
it
look
is a
at, Mike?
back-to-back.
And this. So if you want to one off and you still want to get that backcourt stack from um, Portland, go Allen Crabbe, 4,100. Great matchup still,
Yeah,
right? He's got that shooting guard matchup. And,
he's hot.
dude, he's hot, hot, hot. So,
Shooting guard and forward eligible too on DraftKings, which helps you build lineups for sure.
so small forward is like 10 players on FanDuel today on the main slate. So
What about shooting guard? We not do that?
we just were there.
I guess. Oh, I didn't even look at it. Yeah, I guess we talked about Booker, McCollum. Yeah, okay, we can move on.
Actually, you know what? I do want to mention Buddy Hield. I like Buddy Hield's matchup today a lot. He's still 5,400 up against Minnesota. That is a place to go.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to praise Buddy Hield much for 5,400. It's you pay $200 more and get Evan Fournier against Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, both have great matchups. You got to kind of pick.
Better player against the worst team, same price.
All right, so small forward, like I said, you got about 10 players and only probably 5 are in play. So Andrew Wiggins against Sack. We actually just talked. So the last time he hit value before last game against the Lakers was against Sacramento. So the last two teams he's hit value against is LA and Sacramento. He repeated it against LA. Might look at it again today against Sacramento. Great matchup. TJ Warren, I'm off of for that price. I would actually rather pay for Andrew Wiggins today. I just don't. When I watched that game with the Clippers, and we talk about exploiting the Clippers at small forward. He had JJ Redick and Jamal Crawford on him half the time, and he still didn't do anything. He's just not getting any usage right now. It's all Devin Booker and Ulyss. So
I don't know. I make the case that he had a pretty good game. I mean, it's just that he's overpriced because Booker has been in and out of the lineup. So
well, that's what I'm saying.
until
For
his
that,
price drops under 7K, I don't think you can play him with Booker on the court. But still, I think for what he should be priced, I think 30 points yesterday wasn't a bad performance, or 2 days ago.
no, it's not bad. I'm just
It's
saying.
just that relative to his price, it was.
Yeah, I don't see that price bringing. He doesn't get enough usage at that price with Devin Booker playing.
Exactly. Yeah. No. And we've seen this all year long when people get priced up with people out. Just gotta wait for it to fall. We saw it with DeAndre Jordan when Blake came back. You couldn't play him for like a couple weeks,
And then his price dropped, and now.
and now it's back up because he's balling.
Rondae Hollis Jefferson, I definitely go back there, and then Terrence Ross still 4,400. Mo Harkless had an amazing game. I forget who was in the chat that called that, but Mo Harkless apparently has always killed Houston, and he was
That
literally.
dude's always on Harkless, man. Every show.
He said it like 4 or 5, not even that, like 10 times in the chat, and people were bashing him. So shout out to that guy. I don't know if you're in the chat right now, but great call on Harkless. Hit 30 points at
I don't
10x
know.
value. I'm not going
He
back
also
there
had
today.
he also had 14 minutes against Denver the game before that. So
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying, great call.
if you're high on Crab, yeah, no, it is. It's hard to predict.
I'm not going back there today. Like I said, I'm going Rondae Hollis and Terrence Ross as my two small forwards today.
So Quincy AC is not playing in this game, so you're going to look at some increased run, I think, for Trevor Booker, increased run for Hollis Jefferson, and some increase for KJ McDaniels. For what it's worth, AC was out last game. The minute shakeout was pretty much all over the place. There's nothing really I can take him, but just, there's 20 minutes to go around. I think Hollis Jefferson should be good for 28 today at least. So 5,600. I don't necessarily like that price, but it's a good matchup, and with Booker out, it could be a solid play. I'm sorry, not Booker, AC.
Yeah. So yeah, your small forward options are limited. Power forward, you got a little more. Willie Cauley-Stein against Minnesota, I do like that. If Kufis doesn't play, I like it even more because I like Willie Cauley-Stein against Karl Anthony Towns. Gorgie Dang, great matchup. You can go right back there. Is he going to get you? I think he's safe for 30 points again, right? With the number of minutes he's playing. Aaron Gordon absolutely can look there. You got to look at Aminu today with Nurkic out, right? Some of his he should get some more run. And then I'm gonna go down to Myers Leonard, man. Minimum salary. He's gonna play minutes. Is he gonna do a lot? No. But we talk about exploiting Phoenix's front court, and so based on matchup and price alone, I think he can get you value. And what more do you want out of a minimum salary guy? Especially if he can get you. I think he has potential to get you 6-7x value.
So, did Nurkic broke his leg during the game?
Rolled
Is
his
that
ankle.
correct?
Rolled his ankle. High ankle sprain or something like
Well,
that. He's gonna be out 2 weeks.
well, he has I have him listed as a leg fracture. So
Oh.
it says he's out 2 weeks with a non-displaced fibular fracture in his right leg.
Oh, okay. I saw an ankle sprain, but yeah.
So it might be. Does that happen during the game?
Yes, it did. Happened during the game.
I didn't see who stepped in to play because I know Vonleh had been playing backup center to Nurkic.
Yeah, so there's still speculation on Vonleh or Leonard as who's going to get the backup center minutes, but I mean the rotation is going to increase or the number of minutes is going to increase for all these guys anyway.
Yeah. Well, I meant who's going to start at center. I mean, if Vonleh was playing backup center, does he get to start?
He was already starting at power forward though, so you're either gonna...
right, but he was playing backup center. So I mean, I could see them playing Vonleh and Leonard. I could see them playing Aminu and Vonleh.
That's what I was going to say.
I guess it's set.
They're either going to.
We're not going to get that.
You're either going to slide Vonleh to the center and start Aminu, or they're going to start Leonard and Vonleh. I see them personally. I think they start Myers Leonard, and the reason I say that is you look at how Phoenix's front court matches up. You got Marquise Chris and Alex Len, and Vonleh doesn't profile as a big center anyway, right? So I don't think they gain anything from putting Aminu in the lineup if Vonleh's going to start at center. I'd like Myers Leonard matching up with Marquise Chris more, or Vonleh matching up with Chris, regardless, whoever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really love any of these guys, but I think if you're looking at matchup, I don't know, this Phoenix matchup, I think they go small. I think they'd be okay with playing Vonleh at center in this matchup. I don't think that they really need a center a paint plug with Leonard. But, Leonard can spread the floor, too. I've seen him hit the three, so we'll see what happens. Again, we're not going to get this news probably until... There's going to be speculation all day, but I don't think we'll get an official word of who's going to be in the starting lineup before lock.
So, just some value to watch out for. And then at center, your options today are Karl Anthony Towns, Nikola Vucevic, and probably Brook Lopez, and then maybe some Alan Williams or Alex Len. Alex Len is actually power forward on FanDuel. Interesting, they moved him back.
Yeah. Where do you go here?
I don't think I mess around. I just go... Yeah, it's interesting.
You just go for the value, or
I go Karl Anthony Towns. I don't really second guess it. I think.
See, if I want to pay up for 3 point guards, I can't go there. I also can't go to Jimmy Butler. So that's the decision you're making. You're fading Towns and Butler if you're paying up to Dame, Rubio, and Elf, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe you pick one of the two and try to pay up to Towns. I think you can. I think there's some quality center. I think Brook Lopez actually could be a good play today.
I like Brook Lopez.
Going up against Vucevic. Played well against them the last time they played. Let me look at their numbers. I'm just trying to think. I remember him playing well.
And then I guess
22, 6, and 5 blocks. So 41 DraftKings points with 5 blocks is kind of a outlier. He also did foul out of that game, so maybe not.
I guess you also have to look at Papagiannis if you want value as well. So, but I think that depends on Kufis sitting or not.
Yeah, I think the center value is going to come out of Portland for sure. Also, Brook Lopez 30+ minutes in each last 3 games with AC out. He's been playing backup center, so something to look at. I think Alan Williams, Alex Len is intriguing going up against these guys in Portland. I think you can look there. Plus, their prices are both dropped.
Just want to answer a couple questions. So, Early slate, Howard or DeAndre Jordan. I think on DraftKings, I go DeAndre Jordan, no question. He's cheaper and in a better matchup. On FanDuel, you have a decision to make. I think I still try and get Jordan, but Howard is a good play if you can't get there. Vonleh at 5, Aminu start at the 4. Again, I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen any confirmed notes, so I think that's just speculation. Fournier pivot off of Elf, cheaper also. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
I think I like Jeremy Lin on the flip as well, though.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Rondo over Lin today.
Nope, cheap guys for me. Terrible players. Vonleh, Leonard, Papa, all of them suck.
Yeah, pretty much. But you're looking at value. I mean, you're talking about minutes. Sometimes you got to play minimum salary guys that are going to be playing minutes just because it's how fantasy works. Fantasy players and regular players don't really match up.
Yeah, difference between fantasy knowledge and and real knowledge, right? Guy can be a terrible player, but if he gets you a couple rebounds and scores a few points,
when value opens up. Also, Kufis, if he does play at 3,300,
great value, dude. Karl Anthony Towns.
That's pretty good value there, man.
You talk about exploiting his lack of rebounding and defense. So
I think he might. I think he'll probably play too.
I
don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I can't see why he doesn't. He had his rest day. He's good to go. Old ass.
Justin Hamilton also will be backup center. Don't look at that. Just pointing it out.
Bazemore or Prince? I go Bazemore. Personally, I think Bazemore does more with his minutes.
I don't know. 20. It's hard to play a guy that you know is not going to get. That will not play 30 minutes. You know.
Yeah, but do you think if Dunleavy's back, I don't see Prince playing 30 either.
Yeah, I guess if you had to pick between the two, I would go Bazemore, but I'm going to avoid either.
If Vonleh is up versus Big Sauce, second team, give me the Sauce all day. I see Vonleh still starting in one way or the other. He's either going to start at 4 or 5. I don't see them taking him out of the starting lineup and putting Myers Leonard in.
Right, but again, other than last game, he had been playing both the starting power forward and the backup center.
True.
Other than last game against Houston, but then again, Houston takes kind of the size out of it. You look at minutes, 29, 26, 32, 28, 29, 27. So he's playing bigger minutes, and that's how he's getting them, as backup center and starting power forward.
Who's a pivot off of Blake for early? I like Mirotic and Ilyasova, man. I do. I think you can stack both those guys.
Pivot off of Blake early.
I mean, it's gonna open up a ton more value or a ton more pricing, but I think if you get off of Blake and go up to Butler, then you go down to Mirotic or Ilyasova.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I don't really look at it. I just look at the price points, right? So if that's the pivot to me is Blake to Butler, even though they play at different positions, you just adjust your lineups. Otherwise, DraftKings allows you to really do that well because they have the multiple positions and utility spot. So when you're talking about pivots for like studs and scrubs, I just look at the price point instead of the position for DraftKings purposes.
For what it's worth, if Kufis plays today, I have him projected to get almost 20 points. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's a nice play. Tariq Black as well. Yep. I think Tariq Black's got to be in play in this early slate.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in. As we mentioned, we'll be back later tonight at some point. I don't know the exact time. We're doing the basketball show for tomorrow morning, correct?
We can do whatever, man.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow morning. We'll do baseball tonight.
So baseball tonight. Again, baseball. We're gonna change. We're gonna have a different format of the show as we progress.
It's more suitable.
Yeah, that's more suitable for baseball. Again, doing a full slate breakdown like we do now would take forever on a normal baseball slate. So tonight, with only 3 games, we'll probably do it that way. But going forward. And also, we're going to break it down while basketball is still going on, at least right now, with the format. We're going to break it down by series. So we're not going to do a baseball show again until... Actually, we might have to do one Sunday for the other games, Mike. So we'll figure that out. We'll get back with you guys. But at least tonight.
Yeah, we're thinking twice a week to cover the whole series during basketball season, so that we can continue to get basketball shows out every night for everybody. And that's once the playoffs start. I guess we'll kind of rock our way into baseball every night
Yeah,
and do the opposite.
once playoffs start, you got 4 game, what two to 4 games a night, so it'll be easy. Really short
Right,
shows. So yeah, so
right.
baseball.
But we could also just do it every once in a while to cover the series as well. We just kind of flip flop.
Oh, true
We'll
that.
we'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
So things are still up in the air with that, but we will get baseball out. I sent out my first projections yesterday, so I'm still working on those. I'm fine tuning them as we speak, so I'm still working on those today. So many factors to go into baseball, man. And I want to give, I always have to, I know I say this a lot, but I want to give a disclaimer, man. These projections are raw. So for baseball, there's no games to test it on yet, obviously. First time I've ever done baseball projections. I've compared them with other sites in terms of kind of where we're at. I'm in the ballpark. However, I'm including factors that I think other sites don't. So that'll obviously cause a change in projections and where they score. So just something to look out for. Don't live and die by them, but they're going to keep getting fine-tuned as always. So we'll get them out.
Yeah, and either way, like we always talk about with basketball, like just use it as
a tool.
just use it as another tool to use. I mean, especially in baseball, compared to any other sports, has the highest degree of variance when it comes to projection and actual. So anything can happen any given day in baseball.
Exactly. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in again. Hope you have a wonderful day. Mike, you'll be doing a lock show?
Yeah, I'll do a lock show at, what is it, 5 on DraftKings? So I'll do
for the main slate on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'll do it for the main slate on DraftKings.
So if you guys aren't in that Facebook group, Facebook Fantasy Phenom Movement, get in there. Mike will do the lock show.
4:30, 4:15, something like that. Eastern.
Yeah, so be up there.
We're doing it while drafting.
Yep, so Mike goes through lineup building, all that, kind of where he's looking at. Make sure you're there, man. And then if you're in the fantasy baseball leagues, they are drafting today. Actually, first one drafts at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock Pacific. Yep, so I'll be drafting that league while
doing the the lock show.
Doing a lock show. Also, if you're in that league, I set the picks to 40 seconds a draft, so better get prepped because you're not going to have much time from pick to pick. Just kind of speed it up a bit.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you again. We will see you later today.